Hey guys, how's it going? It's Nathan here. Figured I'd make a video about setting goals this year for 2026. Although we are basically halfway through the year, figured why not, start now. What better time is it than to start now as of today? Uh, I know half of you people were probably like the New Year's resolutioners and you kind of fell off some point, mainly, during, I guess, early in the year. Probably some of you were as early as, the first day. You were like, yeah, we're going to go to the freaking gym, hit Planet every single day. And then that motivation kind of fell off. This isn't going to be more so, this is going to be like a motivating video for you, for a lot of you motivators out there, or you motivator uh, hungry people that are looking for that next bit of motivation. This video isn't going to be more so for that. This video is going to be dedicated for you to set goals, some that are achievable, reasonable within the year gap. Now, I do want to make a pre-context to this. You know, realistically, anything is achievable, right? Realistically, doesn't matter the deadline, doesn't matter the time, doesn't matter. It is achievable. The only thing stopping you is one, yourself, and also your mentality. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into this video as I got a lot planned. Um, and yeah, aside from that, let's go ahead and get right in. So for starters, right, setting goals, it's super important, right? You can't really set any goals if you don't know exactly what it is that you want. So truly go in your mind and think about it. What is it that I truly want? What is it that me, Nathan truly wants, right? What do I want to get, not just within today? What do I want to get within the month, the year, my entire lifetime? What do I want? What does Nathan want? Once you truly, dive in, right? Whether that's money, whether that's, popularity, whether that's a certain job, a certain profession, whatever it is that you want, right? Truly go within yourself. Not what does mom or dad want, not what do my friends want, what do my followers want for me, what does my girlfriend, my dog, so on and so forth. No, what do you want, right? Have you ever truly went to yourself and truly asked yourself, what is it that I want? When I die, when I'm at my grave, what do I want to say? You know what? Although I didn't get to do this, I at least got to do what I wanted to do. So once you've, kind of premeditated what it is exactly that you want, then we can move on to the second question. Otherwise, if you're still thinking about it, go ahead, pause the video, think about it, and then, hit resume, follow along with the class. So once you kind of got yourself, the image of who you want to be, right? Now I want you to exercise your mind and brain and think about, imagine yourself, or what type of image do you have of yourself when you think of successful, right? When you think of yourself being successful, whether that's, whipping around in a freaking Rolls Royce Cullinan, uh, drinking martinis on a yacht, smoking cigars at the penthouse, flying private jets, you know, owning Bugattis, SVJs, so on and so forth. Whenever you imagine yourself successful, what pops up in your head when you think of successful? Okay, once you've thought of that, if you need more time, pause the video, write it down somewhere. I forgot to mention this as well. Make sure you are writing this down, right? To use your brain as a filing cabinet is the worst possible decision you can ever make, because majority of the times your brain is most likely going to put it in the short-term memory circuit and you're going to completely forget. Maybe not the feeling, but you will definitely forget whatever the hell it was that you imagined. Unless you don't, and it's one of those things that are, premeditated and instilled, which theoretically, if you are imagining this type of lifestyle that you want, it technically shouldn't, disappear out of nowhere, but it's always good to write it down as a reminder for yourself. So like I said, if you need more time, pause the video. Other than that, keep on following along with the class. So now that you got that image, I want you to imagine yourself successful. So kind of previously, like, the previous exercise, when you think of yourself being successful, right? This is going to be kind of in relation to that. But I truly want you to imagine yourself successful, right? So, for example, me, the way I think I see myself successful, I see myself in a freaking trench coat with a nice tailor fitted Italian suit, uh, black tie, black suit, black trench coat, and a tie. You know, decent dress pants, a very nice watch, leather watch, um, a nice classic car, probably like an Aston Martin DB12, something like that in those lines. That's how I personally picture myself successful. Smoking cigars, owning, big ass enterprise, CEO something of some sort, looking like the Wolf of Wall Street, right? That's how I picture myself successful. But how do you picture yourself successful? For different people, it can vary, whether that's, with a relationship, with a family, retiring their parents, traveling the world, or doing or being able to do whatever the hell they want, in other words, right? So you always want to, once you have that image of yourself, you always want to picture yourself successful, right? You want to visualize the person you desire to become. Why do you say, why do you want to picture yourself successful? Well, if you look at your life right now, your day-to-day life right now, is that somebody that's successful? And I'm not talking about like, yeah, I'm successful in my marriage, I'm successful in my relationship. No, unless that's what you're pursuing to do, congrats on you. But when you think of your success, right, your successful person, is he doing what you're doing right now, or is he doing something else? Right? So whenever you are imagining yourself successful, you also want to, dedicate this little time. If you have like a little quiet time for yourself, you want to set aside some time each day to be alone and, undisturbed, get super comfortable, relaxed, and close your eyes and concentrate. Concentrate on your desires, on your goals. See yourself in this new environment, capable and self-confident. Because we're all going to, presume this person is confident. How the hell did he make it this far? Because he was confident. He put himself out of that comfortable situation, and he put himself in an uncomfortable environment, and he became that person that he was, or that you imagine. He exists out there, by the way. He's real. All you have to do is just bring it into this reality, right? Because we live in a world that can be molded and turned into whatever. If you don't believe this, search up quantum theory, search up metaphysical analogies, metaphysical theories, and whatnot. There's so many information out there to, prove that whatever image that you have of yourself, he is out there, right? And I know you would kind of counter argument with me and say, well, Nathan, those are, you ended the word with theories. Yes, theory does not always mean, it's legit, it's 100%, but that does not, falsify its credibility. For a lot of this stuff, like quantum mechanics, we won't get too deep into that. There's solid evidence to prove that the quantum realm exists. Same thing with the metaphysical anomalies of this world. It exists. You just have to, one, have faith and believe, and two, I just got a brain fart. Just have faith and believe, bro. That's about it. We won't get too deep into that again, because this is more so about setting goals and not visualizing, not proving about the law of attraction or law of contradiction or so on and so forth. So yes, you want to imagine yourself successful, right? Always picture yourself successful, because if you don't, then you're going to be the same old Gerald you. And, let's be honest, reason you probably clicked on this video, or the reason you probably feel like you aren't successful, is because you're being yourself and you aren't, being future you. You aren't thinking about being future you. You're thinking about being yourself at this current state, in this current moment. So once you do that, right, that's when then we'll move to part two, right? Whenever you have doubt, whenever you feel like, oh, you blew on this business, whether you were, or you're day trading, right? Um, Me personally, when I day trade, I low key, get upset, not all the time, but sometimes when I'm on a very bad losing streak. We'll say like if I'm in a weak losing streak, it'll make me feel pretty bad, right? And that's human, of course. You're going to have emotions, right? Or you don't make any sales on a certain week. For my content influencers and whatnot, you don't make, you don't receive the same attention you typically do. You don't receive the same amount of likes, same amount of views. You worked so hard on the video, and it didn't get the attention that you expected to have, right? Needless to say, that does not mean that what you're doing at that moment is wrong, just as long as you keep on doing the works, right? It just means that you have to take a different approach, a different route. In this case, you also want to have already achieved, you want to have already achieved previous little milestones to kind of prove that this is possible, right? If, for example, think about it like this. What have you already achieved that seemed impossible at first? For a lot of people, that could be something as simple as, I hiked 5 miles nonstop, right? Another one could be, I benched 315 for 1 rep, clean, and so on and so forth, right? Because the thing is, when you celebrate these little small things, right, and you, of course, you also want to celebrate your success, but when you remind yourself that, what seems impossible at first are actually possible things, your brain's like, oh shoot, if I've done this once, I can do this again, but with something else. And a little thing I like to tell myself here and there, if I've done it once, I can do it again. If I've done it twice, I'm ahead of the game. And if I've done it 3 times, no one can stop my determination to win. In other words, that as long as I don't quit and I keep on going through, I can never really lose, right? And I know the fact that though I'm failing right now, I have achieved this before in the past. This shouldn't be an issue, right? And if it becomes an issue, we just keep on reminding ourselves that, hey, you've actually done this. You've done this at this time within, this range. Why not do it again, right? So every success, be it large or small, is proof that you are capable of achieving the most success and even more success. So celebrate each success, you recall. Little brain fart. So celebrate each success you recall, and begin to gain faith in yourself, so you don't lose faith in yourself. So yeah, that's it for reflecting on your past. And then, one more time, imagine yourself successful, right? Because it's, like I said, you want to imagine yourself successful when you're in this environment, when let's say you're having a shitty day, or, you feel like you're doing shit in life. Imagine yourself successful, right? If 10 years were to pass from today, right, and you're in the same position, working the same shitty job, shitty life, shitty boss, shitty economic lifestyle, would you be happy where you're at right now? No. So always image yourself being successful. 10 years from now, you're going to be successful. Obviously, it could vary. You might be successful a lot sooner, but image yourself successful. Image yourself, oh, I'm already driving, the freaking Lambo. I already got the freaking private jet. I already got my whole life set ahead of me. So imagine yourself successful. Imagine yourself successful, and also reflect on past successes, right? You want to kind of back up the fact that what you want in life is achievable, and which it is. You just want to, sometimes we just need a little bit of proof. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting proof in the pudding. But in certain times, because sometimes, we'll be honest, sometimes a lot of people tend to doubt themselves, even regardless if they got proof that they can achieve it. You just have to have strong affirmative belief in yourself that you can achieve that. So moving forward, you want to set definite goals. So in the beginning, like I said, you can't really want something if it isn't a goal, right? You can't want the yacht, you can't want the private jets, you can't want the car if you don't have definite goals. So the goal could be something like getting that yacht, getting that jet. But okay, if that's the goal, goals set the roadmap to success. They're a reminder too. So whenever you begin to slack off, or being like, hey, I'll just put it off for tomorrow, or hey, I won't knock it off today. Leaving the hard work for tomorrow instead of knocking it out today when you got a fool's days of energy. It's kind of like a reminder that you're beginning to deviate from your goals. So having like a little plan or having little goals is super important, right? So in the beginning, like I said, what do you want in life? That's your goal, right? And imagine yourself already achieving yourself within that life. So imagine yourself already successful within that life. Then back it up with reflecting on past things that you've achieved, right? So it's a reminder that, this stuff is achievable. Then set definite goals as a roadmap to, to hitting that success, in case you feel like, you ever feel like you're falling off. A roadmap to, your success, what you'll do or what you'll become in 10 years. And then last but not least, you have to respond positively to life. A perfect example I use here is your cup half full or half empty, right? If it's, if your cup is half full, you got a full drinks to go. If it's half empty, damn, my stuff is running low. I'm almost out. So it just depends on how you respond to life and how you take any situation. For example, your tire gets blown out, or like, are you gonna, freak out, complain like, oh shit, this is the end of the world? Or you're down to your last dollar. You're like, oh shoot, I'm going broke. I'm going, I'm poor. I'm poor. I can't do this. I can't do that. Those I and I'm statements, they mess up, your flow state. They mess you up severely. And I understand sometimes, life can definitely be a big kick in the balls, but you have to learn to get up from those situations and not let one bad situation completely derail you from your goals, right? For example, me personally, with my car, I've had some problems and issues and whatnot, and it's felt really tough, but I understood that, hey, this is just a test from the universe to really and truly, resonate with me. And it's kind of like testing, is this life really meant for you, or are you gonna freak out, hermit back in a shell and retreat to safety? Or are you gonna deal with this like a man, like future you would, and just see it as a minor inconvenience and get it all sorted, get his stuff together, and get it all fixed? So it all depends on how you see your life, how you see your situation, and what you'll do about your situation. Will you, lift yourself up or deviate yourself down? So that is about it, about setting goals. I hope this video was useful for you guys. If you found yourself liking this video at any given point, feel free to drop a like. If you'd like to see more of this type of content for free, feel free to subscribe. Can't speak today. Feel free to subscribe. Get a quick water break. Feel free to subscribe so you can see my face again, of course, and give you these free pep talks. If there's anything you'd be interested in seeing or me talking about, feel free to drop it down in the comments, and as I will be going through any suggestions that you guys may have. If you feel like I missed something, by all means as well, drop it down and we can definitely do a revision of this video. Other than that, I think that is all for me today. I hope you liked today's class session. As always, thank you guys so much. God bless you. Jesus loves you. I love you. Y'all have a great day.